Welcome to our continuing series, Fine Poetry, Poems that Touch Deeper Chords. Rainer Maria Rilke, 1875 to 1926. Introduction. Notes taken from Wikipedia. Recommended reading. Right. Rilke was a Bohemian Austrian poet and novelist, widely recognized as one of the most lyrically intense German language poets, writing in both verse and highly lyrical prose. Several critics have described Rilke's work as inherently mystical. His writings include one novel, several collections of poetry, and several volumes of correspondence, in which he invokes haunting images that focus on the difficulty of communion with the ineffable in an age of disbelief, solitude, and profound anxiety. These deeply existential themes tend to position him as a transitional figure between the traditional and the modernist writers. Rilke was born in the Austro-Hungarian Empire, traveled extensively throughout Europe, including Russia, Spain, Germany, France, Italy, and in his later years settled in Switzerland. Settings that were key to the genesis and inspiration for many of his poems. While Rilke is most known for his contributions to German literature, over 400 poems were originally written in French and dedicated to the Canton of Valais in Switzerland. Among English-language readers, his best-known works include the poetry collection Duino Elegies and Sonnets to Orpheus. In the later 20th century, his work has found new audiences through its use by New Age theologians and self-help authors, and through frequent quoting in television programs, books, and motion pictures. In the United States, Rilke remains among the more popular best-selling poets. Figures from Greek mythology, Apollo, Hermes, Orpheus, recur as motifs in his poems and are depicted in original interpretations. That is, in the poem Orpheus, Eurydice, Hermes, Rilke's Eurydice. Numbed and dazed by death, does not recognize her lover, Orpheus, who descended to hell to recover her. Other recurring figures in Rilke's poems are angels, roses, and the character of a poet and his creative work. Rilke often worked with metaphors, metonymy, and contradictions. That is, in his epitaph, the rose is a symbol for sleep. Rose petals are reminiscent of closed eyelids. Legacy. In the United States, Rilke is one of the more popular best-selling poets, along with the 13th century Sufi mystic Rumi, 1207 to 1273, and the 20th century Lebanese-American poet Khalil Gibran, 1883-1931. Rilke has been reinterpreted as a master who can lead us to a more fulfilled and less anxious life. Rilke's work, and specifically the Duino elegies, have been claimed as a deep influence by several poets and writers, including William H. Gass, Galway Kinnell, Sidney Keys, Stephen Spender, Robert Bly, W.S. Merwin, John Ashbery, novelist Thomas Pynchon, and philosophers Ludwig Wittgenstein and Hans-Georg Gadamer. British poet W. H. Auden, 1907-1973, has been described as Rilke's most influential English disciple, and he frequently paid homage to him or used the imagery of angels in his work. And now, 2 poems. Love Song. How can I keep my soul in me so that it doesn't touch your soul? How can I raise it high enough past you to other things? I would like to shelter it among remote, lost objects in some dark and silent place that doesn't resonate when your depths resound. Yet everything that touches us, me and you, takes us together like a violin's bow, which draws one voice out of 2 separate strings. Upon what instrument are we 2 spanned? And what musician holds us in his hand? O sweetest song! You who never arrived. You who never arrived in my arms, beloved, who were lost from the start. I don't even know what songs would please you. I have given up trying to recognize you in the surging wave of the next moment. All the immense images in me, the far-off, deeply felt landscape, cities, towers, and bridges, and unsuspected turns in the path, and those powerful lands that were once pulsing with the life of the gods, all rise within me to mean you, who forever elude me. You, beloved, who are all the gardens I have ever gazed at, longing. An open window in a country house, and you almost stepped out, pensive, to meet me. Streets that I chanced upon, you had just walked down them and vanished. And sometimes in a shop, the mirrors were still dizzy with your presence, and startled gave back my too sudden image. Who knows? Perhaps the same bird echoed through both of us yesterday, separate in the evening.